Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, it's time for the Creator Rewind interview, where we bring somebody back from the depths of hell, and we interview them for a second time. And today's guest is Patrick Baird from the GarageBand and the Logic Pro Guide. We're going to play a song. Are you ready? This is The City on Fire. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. That is Wiredrawn. Yeah, Patrick Baird's one of his projects, one of his band, and that was The City on Fire. And there was no video clip, so I decided last night to just use up some credits on Kyber, throw up a piece of art, and then make a bit of a video for it, and where there off you go, and everything's good. You're all doing well. My name's Jade. This How to App on iOS. Everyone happy and healthy and well. I'm getting better, and I think my guest has got it as well, and I think there's a few of us who are all a little bit sick, but right now I will let you know I'm drinking from this Moonworks cup, this amazing concoction that Mateusz Brakowski sent me over Messenger, made from his grandmother's bones. No, it's not. It's, God, what a great start. It's a concoction from his grandma that it's made, and it's full of good stuff, and it's very spicy. Awesome stuff. Oh, that's spicy. So, We've got Patrick Baird on to Create a Rewind. Thank you all for being here. Our today's show is sponsored, of course, by our friends at DistroKid. So I'll do a quick read and then we'll bring Patrick on. What do you say about that? I reckon you say good times. Good times. DistroKid, yes, indeed. They are the service that I use. And let me just come over here to our little upgrade page. You too can use DistroKid to release your music. I've been releasing music with DistroKid since about 2015 when I took the jump from the company I was with before. Can't mention their name. Well, I could, you know what I'm saying? But I won't. Because I was spending way too much money. I was spending like $50 an album each year to release, to keep my albums up on the store, and I've got a lot of music, let me tell you that. But I took the jump over to DistroKid and now only pay a wonderful low fee of $29.99 annually. Plus, if you use this here, distrokid.com/VIP/Jade Starr, you will get 7% off your first year with DistroKid. And where can you send all your music to DistroKid? Well, you don't send your music anywhere. They do it all for you. They send it to all the cool kids. Like, if I go to upload music, you can see them all here. There's so many of them. Spotify, TikTok, Deezer, 10 Adapter, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, Boomplay, Quabas, Flow, iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Jukes, MediaNet, Instagram and Facebook, Pandora, Clara, and NetEase, and Contact Media, and Snapchat. All these amazing places that your music can be shared to. Plus, there's something else I'll tell you a little bit about as we go on at the hour of the show. You can also do some fascinating stuff with YouTube, but we'll get into that. So what is the price again? Because there's 3 tiers. Let me bounce back over here. The 3 tiers. Musicians, would you get one artist, upload as many songs as you like or albums, Spotify checkmark, create royalty splits, and access to 21 tools and a mobile app that you can do it all from your iOS or Android device. Musician Plus, you get 2 artists, it's $39.99, and the ultimate one, which is the one I actually use, which is $89.99 annually. And I'm about to release a new album with a whole new band that I'm not telling anybody about. Isn't that really bad marketing? It is. Hello, folks. I'll say hello to you in the first half an hour. I see lots of you here, including this weirdo. There he is. But we'll bring on our guest and get straight to it. So I had him on, I forget when, whatever episode. I'm not that... I don't do that much homework, so I don't really know when he was on. It was at some stage, probably in the second year of the show, maybe. Who knows? But a lot has changed since then. His channel has ballooned out of control. There's finally been a release of a little thing called Logic, and he's making more music as well. So let's bring him on. He's a bit of a guru, a bit of an inspiration to me, and he's the man with the best black metal makeup on the market. Let's bring him on. It is indeed. Got everything good? Patrick Baird, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good as well. Sick. We're both
currently,
sick.
I'm drinking a concoction that was sent to me by Thomas Christ. This is the bones of his great-great-great-great-grandfather he sent me to make me feel better too. So, cheers.
Cheers. Here's I'm drinking Matthias's grandma. Mothbally.
Delicious.
So I'm so thankful. What a perfect start. Hello, DistroKid. Oh, I forgot to do the little catchphrase at the end of DistroKid. Here we go. We've got to do this because they love it. They really do love it, I've been told. I love you, DistroKid. I'm surprised they stick with me after that nonsense. But live...
You don't get that in CD, baby, I tell you.
You don't. Live television. What it is. All right. Now, this is a rewind, and I bring back guests to essentially why I do this is I want to find out what people have been doing since the last time we hung out. And there's been a lot happen, especially on the music making front and for your channel. But first, here's a scenario, Patrick. I'm your boss, all right? And Yes,
Okay.
you never see me. I'm up on the top floor of the Crystal Palace, snorting cocaine all day long. I don't really care about my workers. But one day I'm in an elevator, you're a grunt, and I see you and I say, Minion, what do you do here? Please give me the Patrick Baird elevator pitch.
I deliver you your cocaine, obviously. I'm an online educator. I teach people how to make music using Apple-made digital audio workstations like GarageBand for Mac and GarageBand for iOS, and now Logic Pro for iPad as well. I also make my own music, or at least I try to when I get some spare time. That's about it, really. Apart from that, I'm not really that interesting, Jade, I'm afraid. Please don't fire me.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the end of the show. Thank you very much. See you later. And
See you later, guys. Bye.
how do I bring everything back? Oh, there we go. It all still works. Look, so much has now. You started primarily as. Did you start primarily as a website teaching? Because you got the GarageBandUsersGuide.com website with.
Do you want to try that again? You can do a DistroKid commercial for a minute and you can't see my website, right?
The GarageBand Guide. Right? Man, this Matthias, what have you done to me? What's in this crap? No, the GarageBand Guide, .com. So, but that was that the beginning, or did YouTube follow that? What was the chicken before the egg? That's what I'm trying to say.
The website chicken was before the YouTube channel egg, definitely. I hated my job, Jade. I wasn't working for you, but I did hate my job. And at the time, so we're going back to kind of 2011?
Yeah.
2011?
Yeah, right.
And it kind of seemed like a good way out. I stuck my head in lots of make money fast, get rich quick scheme books and all that kind of stuff. And it seemed like making a website was a good idea. I should point out the website started generating actual income for me last year.
Really?
So maybe not. Yeah, so maybe not quite. I mean, I didn't put ads on it for a long time. I was quite precious about it and thought, no, I couldn't possibly do that. And then I put ads on it 1 month and thought, oh, I really should have been doing this a long time ago. So it was definitely more because back then nobody was doing anything to do with GarageBand when it came to teaching people how to use it. There was obviously audio tutorials and stuff online and on YouTube as well, but nothing was GarageBand specific. And as that's what I was using, I was having to convert all of this information into GarageBand friendly stuff. And I thought, well, if I'm doing that, why don't I just kind of share the stuff that I have converted with the world, which I did. And then it all just kind of snowballed from that, really. It got quite a lot of traction, mainly because it was just a gap in the market, really. I'd love to say that I had done some research and looked into the niche and decided, like, this is what I need to spend my time on. It was just luck in the beginning. Absolutely. Had no idea what I was doing, which probably for the best, really. It was quite a good way to learn, and it kind of kept me honest.
I remember when I first saw GarageBand, I didn't own a Mac. I only got a Mac a few years ago. And the first time I saw GarageBand was on a friend's computer that had an iMac. And he loaded it up, and I went, looks like a toy. This was back in 2003, I reckon. And I go, that looks like a toy. And then I went, not as good as this, mate. And I pulled out my little 8-track little mini disc. My Fostex. What a piece of trash that is. And now these days, oh, God, I listen to the stuff even he was making on that compared to my little Fostex. And it was so much better already. So
yeah.
I had to eat my words.
Definitely before its time.
Yes, and it's funny because like it still has that cloud over it that people go, no, it's a toy. And, even iPad. Like when I was in the US, when I lived in the US, I remember everybody I met there, the people I was living with, they'd introduce me to their friends in bands and go, this is Jade. Jade makes music on an iPad. And it was kind of like they'll go, Jade's handicapped, everybody. That's how they were introducing me. So I'm like, what is this? Jade's the weirdo in the dark. And people were just like, really? It must sound crap. And then they'd hear my music and go, oh, geez, wow, what is that?
You made that on an iPad? I mean, GarageBand for iPad still gets that. On Mac, not so much, because Apple have kind of made GarageBand on Mac and Logic Pro on Mac. They're kind of the same. It's just GarageBand has a lot of kind of missing features and doesn't have some of the stuff that Logic Pro has. But they look the same, whereas obviously on iOS, it's just its own thing. And it did when GarageBand on iPad first came out, it was all kind of skeuomorphic and stuff.
Yeah.
And it did kind of look, not like a toy, but it did look a lot less maybe pro than it does now. So...
Oh, but that was the thing. Like, all of iOS was skeuomorphic, though. All of it looked like a stupid toy. Like the notes, everything was, you know, the calendar. And looking back
I loved
now,
it. It was great.
I loved it too. And when they changed it, I really hated it. But now looking back, I saw it the other day and was kind of like a bit, ooh, geez, that looks like somebody left something in the diaper. Yee. So how did I meet you?
I've never met you. I've never met you in real life.
No, never.
This doesn't count.
Just
it's not real.
Just here, yes. But I think it was, through Pete Johns, because Pete Johns would always talk about you like you were like his inspiration. You were one of the people that inspired him to do this thing, and I was already like licking Pete's ass on his channel and moderating, or not physically, not until I met him anyway. But yeah, and so I'd heard about you, and then I think most of us. I'm interested to hear from people in the chat. How did you come across? Because Thomas writes here, I love looking back at Patrick's old videos with the early versions of GarageBand with the wood paneling like an old station wagon.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, and then I came across to your channel, and you know, even Hugh says, does anybody need an interpreter? See, I've never had any problem interpreting. What languages are they you speak?
What the fuck do you mean?
It's funny because Aussies, my first girlfriend was very Scottish family, and her old man would go, he was a sailor, and he would fuck off for like 3-4 months on a ship. And when he'd come back, boy, did he like a drink. And I could understand him. So if you can understand a completely rat-ass-faced drunk Scottish sailor, you can understand anybody. So
You'd be fine with me then, yeah.
Yeah, I've never, even when I had Hugh on, everybody who I've had who's been Scottish, I've never had a problem. I don't understand. I think it's just, do you think it's Americans who have the problem with it?
Possibly. Perhaps should I start talking like this? Hello, my name's Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. Hello. Is that better? Yes. Is that better, Jade?
Oh, I love that. That's pretty spiffy, actually. No, it's nice. Do you have people like? I'm curious because you know people write some fucking strange messages in comments. Do you have people who go, I didn't understand any of the video.
I mean, thankfully, YouTube's captions have got a lot better over the years. But yeah, I still in my comments I get Shrek quite a lot. Groundskeeper Willie. It's quite a good one as well. God, who else? There's always the Star Trek. Oh, it's always old people with the Star Trek references and stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, it's normal. I don't really care. It's fine.
Yeah, people are fucking weird, aren't they? Human beings, they're the oddest creatures. That's why I don't associate with them in public much. I try not to leave the house, but yes, today I'll have to do that. So we met that way, and I was instantly gravitated to your channel because your videos are very well put together, and I think over time they've got better put together. You know, definitely succinct and fast, and the information's full, and the look of your videos is a very particular look that I feel like I have a warm blanket on when I watch your videos, and I'm comfortable.
Good, excellent. I mean, I'd be worried if you'd said that over time they'd got worse in quality. That would be a bit of a blow, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I have no formal training in any sort of video editing. If it might be fairly obvious, to be fair, in any kind of video editing or kind of multimedia recording or anything like that at all. I just completely learned as I went along. I still don't think I'm very good at it. I've just kind of Frankensteined together a way of doing things that kind of works for me. as I'm sure a lot of people do that as well. So I'm sure you're exactly the same. So you didn't start off, you've got different camera angles and you've got all this cool tech and stuff. You didn't start off like that. You've obviously worked up to that from a certain point.
Well,
So
funny you say that. A thing called COVID happened, and the government gave us all this money, so I just bought an entire studio. That's pretty much how it happened.
fair enough.
It's true. They were like, here, have all this money, and I'm sure people were just like injecting it in their arms and drinking it, then pissing it down the toilet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to build something that I can live off, hopefully, and have something to show out of it, because you know it feels like a once in a lifetime event. That
hopefully,
yeah, oh, please. Every time I get sick, you pull out one of these and go, please, not again. No, please don't let us all get locked down. But yeah, that's how it happened for me. So where am I going next? We're going to play another song in a minute. So when you had the website, is because it's the GarageBandGuide.com. It's a what's the word I'm trying to think of? God, my brain. This stuff that you sent me, Mateus. But it is a guide, isn't it? So you can actually go get the guide for free. Is it? I can't remember. Does it cost? I got it ages ago.
No. So the website is just, it's obviously has articles on it that have information about GarageBand that teach you how to use different things. So there'll be articles about compression or about EQ or something like that. I do give away free guides in exchange for your email address.
Yes.
So I have a free guide for Mac and a free guide for iOS. The free guide for Mac was what really made the website kind of take off, because again, nobody was giving away that kind of instruction, certainly for free. And it's like a 45-page downloadable book that kind of gives you a proper head start on how to, if you've never used GarageBand before, this will get you started. It'll get you up and running, recording, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that is it's the quick start guide. It's not even called the GarageBand guide. I don't know why I didn't just call it the GarageBand guide. I'm an idiot. And then the iOS one is getting started with GarageBand. So yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, so and then obviously once you are a part of the email list and part of the community, I send weekly emails that outline kind of articles that have been released that week, any kind of new exciting things going on in the community and stuff like that.
See, it's been so long since I initially downloaded the thing that I just get the emails now. It's been like
probably new versions and stuff out. Yeah, I kind of refresh it because Apple changes the way GarageBand looks. They haven't added any new functionality in ages, well, on Mac anyway.
I don't know.
But they change the way it looks now and again, so it kind of gets refreshed every year. So
I don't know.
I'll make sure I send you.
Are you not like including 808s as like an upgrade? I don't know. My God,
We've all got enough 808s.
You know, you can never have enough 808s. I've got a whole room just full of them. I have to walk over them like landmines, you know. It's just an addiction. What can I say? 808s coming out of my ass. This show's going. You definitely had too much medication before today. Absolutely. Let's play another song. Hello, Kathy Ogren. We'll come back and say hello to everybody here. We'll play another song. What am I going to play next? So we're gonna play some. Let's mix it up, because you've got another band, another project, and it's interesting because I'm so old school. I still say another band, you know, even though it's just one person. Tell us. So the first song we listened to is Wiredrawn. You've been doing that for a while. You've got a bunch of releases for that, but this is something new that you've been working on. Tell us about this new project.
It's just something completely different I've not really done before. And it kind of, when Logic Pro for iPad came out, which I'm sure we'll talk about a bit later on, I kind of had a lot of fun just diving into the app and getting to know it. And in doing so, I kind of felt like I wanted to create something that I hadn't created before. So it's more like kind of down-tempo, synth wavy, kind of EDM-y kind of stuff, which I quite have a soft spot for. I'm not a big fan of kind of electronic music, really, but that kind of more kind of retro synthwave stuff I quite like. So I decided to kind of try my hand at it. It's not amazing, it's not groundbreaker or anything like that, but it just was really good fun. And it was really good fun to just work in Logic Pro and create everything in the one app without having to kind of worry about too much external plugins or kind of getting it mastered elsewhere and things like that. So it all just kind of stemmed from that, really. I'd kind of used them in videos to demo sounds and stuff like that, and had people asking, "Oh, this is quite good. Where can I listen to this?" Which, you know, it never even occurred to me to release this kind of stuff, but because people were asking for it, I did, and that's why it is now a thing.
At least people were asking for it.
Yeah, totally. I wouldn't have bought if nobody had asked. I wouldn't have even thought to. So.
It's interesting you say that. It's because when I heard all these songs, I was like, "Oh my god, I've heard these in videos." And I keep giving teasers to everybody over the last week that I'm doing a new album, but I'm not going to advertise it publicly. I'm not going to tell everybody who it is or what it's called. It's got a new name, but all the songs on it are all things that were from demos I've done over the years in AUM. And man, I've gone back, you know, how many shows have I done? Some ludicrous, some like 1,300 shows. There's a lot of good music in there that I didn't realize I had. So I'm putting all that together. Right. So this is called Snow from the Future Fathers. Let's play it now, and we'll be back shortly. You ready, everybody? Grab onto your ankles. Let's oge. Hey, I love that. You know what's interesting? The older I get, the more I'm enjoying more music that is less.
Yeah.
Where all through my life, it's just been, just pile everything in there. Just make it even so people have no idea what's going on. But I'm getting more and more relaxed and spreading myself out and just, oh, you know what? Just keep it spacey. Keep it free. Are you in the same position? Because, you know, Wiredrawn's more of a, I don't know, alternative. When I hear Wiredrawn, I think of a band called Something for Kate here in Australia.
Right, okay.
I don't know if you've heard Something for Kate, but oh my God,
No,
so similar.
sorry.
They're so good. Pete's probably chutting in his pants here in Something for Kate. I know he loves Something for Kate. They're rad. You'd really dig them, I swear to God. But so what is, because last time around here we talked about Wiredrawn. Tell us about Wiredrawn as well, because that's what we opened with.
Yeah, so it kind of came from, so it's just me. The song you played at the start, and I don't know what songs I sent for you to play. They were recorded in my flat in Aberdeen in like 2011 with one USB microphone in front of an amp and stuff.
Wow.
It was a proper like labor of love trying to mix that in GarageBand on like an ancient MacBook. Great fun though. But yeah, it was part of like a band in the kind of early to mid 2000s that was kind of post rocky, jumpy abouty, shouty stuff with no guitar solos, that kind of stuff. And then kind of when I moved away, my partner moved away, it kind of stemmed from a continuation from that. So a continuation of that, I should say, with just me kind of writing songs on an acoustic guitar and then trying to throw it all together in GarageBand, which is where the whole kind of learning how to do stuff in GarageBand started as well, was making that EP. And yeah, it just kind of came up from that. So I got involved with SoundCloud as well back then. So SoundCloud today is like a horrible, hollow, soulless shell of what it used to be. It used to be a fantastic place where you could kind of become part of a community of people who would share songs and would interact and would chat and would kind of really just an incredible community of like-minded musicians, as cliched as that sounds. And obviously it's not that now.
No.
But certainly, so being part of a community, everybody sharing songs really kind of spurred me on anyway to kind of create more and share more. And then the whole kind of thing kind of snowballed from that. And I just kind of continued on using the moniker Wiredrawn just for songs that I put together that I wanted to record. A lot of I think I've got like two EPs and several singles, and none of it really sounds all that similar really to each other. It's all just kind of individual songs that I've written and recorded and then released under the same umbrella.
It's funny you say that you don't think it sounds similar. When I put it all on last night. I had the whole thing on Apple Music, and to me it does have it's interesting how people hear things completely different than what you put out there. It's like it's like sometimes I fall into the mistake here on the show where I play, all right, here's a song. Tell us what this song is about. And every time I do it, I want to slap myself in the head and go, why am I doing that? Because then you're taking away the mystique or somebody may have heard that song for ages and gone, oh, that song means so much to me when I had my first sexual experience. And then you come on and go, it's about this. And they just go, well, now I'm soft.
100%. Completely agree. Yeah. I hate when artists over explain the meanings behind song, because it's going to be means something different to different people, exactly as you've just said. I'd rather keep that mystique.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah, so
so don't ask me about any of the fucking songs. That's it.
I haven't. I'm getting better at it. Let's say hello to the kind people who've decided to hang out with us here today. Peter Johns is here, and he's coming up after this. He's doing... What are you doing, Pete? I have no idea. You're doing some kind of thing where you're going to be like answering questions about your personal life or something like that. So, folks, if you've got questions about how Pete styles his hair or whatever, I don't know. I can't remember. He says, who would have thought that Facebook would be better than SoundCloud for music? Well, that is true, isn't it? It's even though Facebook's pretty terrible. Jenny Jolivet, Gary Hubbs, Hugh Caldwell, Thomas Christ, SM Borthwick, Kathy Ogram, hello to you, Tremor Bear. Who else do I see here? If you haven't, if you want to type something, I can find you and I'll try and find you. There's Cold Acre. What's going on, Chili? If I can't find you here, just type something in the chat and then I can say hello there. Stephen Hewitt's putting Thomas Christ heads in the chat. Jerry Gomes is here. Remember, if you remember, you've got some black metal Patrick Baird you can throw around the chat.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Joe and Barry Glenn's here. Both of you are here, so good to see you both. I think you're both here. Thomas is doing Freedom Day. What the hell is Freedom Day? Oh, yeah, it's July 4th, isn't it, in America? Oh, I forgot. So it's an extravaganza, says Pete. An extravaganza. I still haven't worked out what I'm doing. Could be interesting or awful. I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Nice.
I'm sure it will be.
You have the best audience, Jade. Whenever I don't often get the chance, time is at a premium, as I'm sure you appreciate.
Absolutely.
But when I do get the chance to jump into your live streams, your audience are always great fun to hang out with. So thanks everybody for coming and looking at my stupid face this evening.
You sent me a photo for the thumbnail, and I think it was my big ugly face, so that's what you called it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's what the folder's called, because I've got I don't use them that often, but I've got cutouts of my head to use on thumbnails that I don't do very often.
We all do.
And yeah, I think the folder is called My Big Stupid Face.
Yeah. Oh, it made me laugh because, you just get the photo and you don't look at it, then you open it up and go, and then I made the thumbnails and it was like my big, stupid, ugly face one.
One. Yeah, there are many.
Do you, all right, let's talk about that. I just love going wherever today. Do you have you mentioned the folder of your faces. Do you have the YouTube faces? I've only just started getting into the YouTube faces. I held off as long as I could. I used the emojis, the little characters I did for a long time. People complained, people bitched. They sent me messages going, you should use a real photo of yourself. People actually got really butthurt about it to the point that I thought, I better start doing it. And now people just keep writing, go back to the cartoon, please.
Oh, no. I did. So years ago, so when I still had hair, so 3 years ago, kind of 2019, 2020, I did the whole, I was on every thumbnail doing the kind of faces. And I just felt like a twat every time. And I never got feedback. I never got anybody saying you shouldn't be doing that. You look stupid. I just felt like I was a bit of an idiot. No shade on anybody who chooses to do that. I mean, obviously that's just the way you kind of do it. I kind of moved away from that recently, and I tend to try and just put the thing that I'm talking about in the video, whether that's kind of an app or whether it's a function in an app or something, and try and make that the focus of the thumbnail. And now and again, if it's more kind of conversational stuff, or if it's kind of so I did a video talking about Apple's new iPads when they released them, so the M4 and the M2 Air, and because that was more I don't want to say an opinion piece, but it was more just chatting about a release. I stuck my face on that because it was more of it wasn't a tutorial, if that makes sense. But yeah, I tend to not really put my face on too many thumbnails nowadays, really. But that's just a personal choice, and I very well could be missing out on click-through rates. I could be missing out on clicks. I could be scaring people away, and maybe it's a good thing. So, yeah, no shade on anybody who chooses to do that. I really like your new thumbnails, Jade. When you switched over to putting
the bigger ones
on them, when you started putting your face on them, it made sense, I think.
Yeah, we're talking today. See, I have a plan. I've always had a plan from day one. It is a 5-year plan. After that, it's all just off the cliff. Who knows what's going on? But seriously, I wanted to, when I first did shows, I didn't show my face at all. I was in a place where I was very self-conscious, didn't want to show my face, and because of changes that had happened through illness and stuff. But, then you show your face, and then... So everything you get more confident with. What do you think? Do you think there is a difference with thumbnails? I mean, there's somebody who has a staggering 146,000 subscribers on the GarageBand Guide, which, I mean, is just incredible.
Thanks.
It is incredible. And it only feels like about a few months ago you hit 100,000. I know it's a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, it was a few years ago now. Yeah, but
it just feels like it's exploding. Do you how important are thumbnails? Do you think they make a difference? Because clearly in the Creator Studio at the moment they've got this new thing where you can have an A, B, and you can change it up if one's not working. What's your opinion on thumbnails? I find it interesting.
Yeah, they're probably one after the content of the video. They're the most important part of what you're doing, I think. Um, it's especially now, especially because our niche is more competitive. There are more people making videos similar to the kind of content that we make. That yeah, you need to be able to stand out. You need to be able to make people curious enough to want to click on it to watch the content. You can make the best video in the world. If you've got a crap thumbnail, nobody's going to watch it. So yeah, thumbnails. I don't really subscribe to too much of what kind of YouTube gurus talk about when they talk about kind of
Yes.
the rule of thirds, and this is the way that you should phrase your YouTube titles in order to maximize your click-through rate. Like God, I like to have a bit more fun than that, you know.
Yeah.
Although it is like a full-time job and it is a business, like you want to try and keep a little bit of soul in it, as it were. But yeah, I mean, I think thumbnails are really, really one of the most important parts. I would often spend, depends on the idea, on what kind of idea for a thumbnail. If I have a really cracking idea for a thumbnail, I could spend hours on the thumbnail, make multiple versions and show my wife the versions, and she'll pick out
Wow.
oh no, honestly, she's great. She's
Yeah.
fantastic. She's always I was going to say she's always right, but she might hear me and think that I'm talking in general. When it comes to thumbnails, she's always right.
Too late
So
now.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. What do you think about? What do
I
you think
wish
about
my
thumbnails?
girlfriend would let me send mine to her. If I sent one of mine to my girlfriend, she'd go piss off. Don't you know I'm an acclaimed singer. I'm currently touring at the moment, and you're just troubling me with this rubbish. No, look, I think with thumbnails for me, for the longest time, I've tried to stick with a pattern, a kind of a template. Excuse me. And now I've split them up into like app reviews have a certain template, and then kind of shows like this have a different template where they're bigger and brighter. And eventually everything will move to the bigger and brighter thing. Hey, see, it's all over. Hi, Sarah. You cannot escape. But yeah, I've noticed a difference with thumbnails, and you know what? I don't put a lot of thought into it. What I do put into it is like what the kind of what pops into my head, whatever is like, what can I put in the background? What, you know, and just go with it. And normally it's the right idea. I mean, you know, I've been doing graphic design for many, many years. You know, I was designing album covers for a long time, and I did art and all that stuff, and then just never did it again. So coming back into this has been really fun, and thumbnails have been secondary, but now I'm having fun with them. Like, I don't look at them as a chore. I think that you know what, when I set up a show each day, Patrick, the fun part's a thumbnail, and then actually going into YouTube and copy and pasting all the details and writing in all the that's the boring crap.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Yeah.
I just go, can I pay someone else to do this? Thumbnails are the good bit. So
I've got the chat up here, Jade. Sorry just to interject. And
yes.
Pete's just said, it's a little sad that we are incentivized to make good thumbnails instead of good videos. Thanks for that, Pete.
Yes. Wow. Pete, have you been drinking?
Wow. Ain't a lot of fence sitting going on there, is there?
No. He's sometimes Pete just jumps off the fence into the bindies, and he just goes for
into
it.
The bindies?
Yeah. Don't know what bindies are? Bindies. No. They're these little grass seeds that are spiky, and you walk on them in summer. If you walk around the grass, they're these little spiky things that get in your feet, and they're not pleasant. They're terrible. But they're everywhere.
Australia's not a very friendly place, is it? Really,
no.
You've got animals that want to kill you, and even the grass is trying to kill you. That's
even the grass is trying to take you out. It's awesome here. Hey, I don't know. I went and hung out with kangaroos last week. It was awesome. They didn't try and kill me. You know, I went and filmed kangaroos out in Ballarat. They didn't try and kill me. They ate from my hands, and it was wonderful.
What do kangaroos eat?
Oh,
a genuine question.
Well, grass.
No idea.
Grass.
Right. Okay.
No,
but they're huge. Like, do they not eat? Are they? This is a really stupid question. No, I'm not going to say it. What do they eat?
Well, I went to this place called the Ballarat, what was it? There's an animal sanctuary or whatever, and they just got hundreds of kangaroos just roaming free. And when you pay to get in, they give you a bag of feed. It's just like pellets.
Right. Okay.
And but they're free to eat grass and they eat carrots and whatever. But yeah, I just walked around there and just was hand feeding all these kangaroos, all these carrots, and it was wild, man. I was in heaven. I have to admit, it was like nothing I'd ever experienced. And it was, I got in for free. They didn't charge me because I'm a YouTuber.
Did you actually pull the YouTuber card?
Dude, I always do.
Really?
Well, yeah. Well,
Does that work?
Yeah, well, you learn from, reaching out to companies to get, hardware and stuff. So if I'm doing a travel show, I'm going to, because here's the thing, Patrick, every company has a media department. And I'm expecting a lot of them are just sitting on their ass all day going, I wish somebody would call me. so I just give it a go and ring them up. Like when I went to the prison, I rang them up. And with the zoo, I rang them up, said, hey, I got a YouTube channel. Here's some videos. And they're just like, yeah, cool. Free pass, come in. So it does actually work.
I've been missing out. I'm going to have to make myself a walking channel. What should I call it?
I don't know.
Should I walk with me? That's not free, is it?
Somebody's already tried to take it. Folks, if you've got ideas in the chat to come up with for Patrick's new walking show, feel free to throw it in the chat. I'm trying to find the video to show you. Yeah, I'm trying to find a video to show you. The kangaroos are eating out of my hand. So because it was very, not me just talking. Here we go. So this is how close you are to them. You just walk up to
wow.
and just pat them. So I think this is when I was leaving. Here we go. This is literally. Oh, come on. See, you got very excited there. This is literally my last handful. Yeah, they give you a big bag and you just walk up and.
Oh man, come on. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like I literally was in heaven. You're a messy. Ow. He was biting me. So he was biting me. Ow. But I'm trying to get. That's the kind of shit you can do when you start walking around with a camera sticking in people's faces. We've got completely.
I need to try this. Yeah.
We've got completely off track. Let's play another song to bring everything back. This show's always like that, isn't it? Patrick Blagg's free stuff. There you go. There's an idea.
Ding, ding, winner. Nice one, Scott. Excellent.
Grass and lost infants.
That's what kangaroos eat, I think. I was laughing at that.
All right.
I don't think that's the name of the channel.
The planet.
Be interesting.
Yeah. YouTube might have something to say about that. Let's find a track here. I was going to play another. We'll play this one. We'll play this Loose Lips Sink Ships. We're going to play this one. And I tried to do a video for this one as well, but it failed overnight. So we'll just play the image. We're not going to ask you what it's about because you don't really care. So we're just going to play the song, aren't we? All right, let's Oge. We'll be back in a moment. Let's have some music.
I guess I feel alright. Suppose I should have learned by now how to make the time go. I guess I'm really alright, 'cause nothing's really changed round here except the way the time goes. I still hear the gunfire
Yes, and I agree 100% with Trevor Bear. I guess that when you know what you're doing, you don't really need much because that was recorded with one USB mic. That is the thing, you know. I'm curious to get your take on this as somebody who reviews or does tutorials or reviews. I always get confused. Apps. There's so many of them, and you honestly don't need them, do you? At the end of the day, just cutting my business at balls.
You're right, though. You're right, and it's a weird line you have to walk. Obviously, like I review quite a lot of gear, and you review apps every day, and it is that weird thing where you need to obviously you want to recommend these things to people, and you're not recommending bad things to people, but yeah, you don't necessarily need all of that stuff to make music.
Yeah, I mean everything you need is in a DAW these days. And it's not like the old days where you just here's some tracks you can record on, and you get very basic fundamental stuff. Everything that you get in nearly every DAW is super high quality. The compressors, everything. I think where people fall down, from my experience doing this show, is that there's still not enough people who know how to use a compressor.
Yeah.
And do you think we're ever going to get to at the stage where people understand compression? I can't see it.
I think we're gonna get to the point where you won't need to. I think we're almost there. The amount of people that will just slap a preset on, which, you know what, if it sounds good and it works, then fair enough. But yeah, I think we're at the point where, especially, I don't know how much you want to dive into AI and music production later on in the show or whatever, but yeah, I think we're at the point where it's just going to do it for you pretty soon. Think stuff like that, compression, EQ.
Yeah.
We're already there in a lot of respects.
Oh yeah, we definitely are, and it's hard to find that balance to try and keep some humanity, but still get into this AI stuff. Because I'm not going to lie, every time I do an AI video here on the channel, it just explodes. People love it; they get into it, and I'm more doing AI videos when I'm shitting all over it. But they love that still, as long as it's got AI in it. It doesn't matter if you're crapping on it or saying it's good. People just want to know about it. It's a very strange place that we're in at the moment with music. Look, we're at our halfway point. We'll do this DistroKid halfway thingy, and then we'll get into Logic and how it came out, and it took us all by surprise because, nobody had any idea it was going to come out. Nobody was expecting it or wanted it. There it just was one day. So I'll keep you here with me while I do this. So, folks, we're at a halfway point, and today's show is, of course, sponsored by our good friends at DistroKid, who I've been using for many, 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 many years, and I cannot complain about the service because it just works, and that is the most important thing. And there are 3 tiers you can sign up to. The most simplest one you want to go for, Thomas Christ is just bung in that link there because he is the link master, is the $22.99 billed annually to your account. You can release as many songs as you like, and if you use my code there, distrokid.com/VIP/Jade Starr for your first year, you'll get 7% off, and that's a nice, handy, dandy little saving. And all your music will be up there, rubbing shoulders with Bruce Springsteen and Michael Jackson, maybe not, Madonna. All the big stars. You can be up there with them in the bright lights, like you got a stamp on the Hollywood Boulevard. But no, it is. I love the way that I can just show anybody, here's my music on Spotify, on Apple. It is a fantastic way to release your music. And if you didn't know this, I always try and tell you folks something you can do that may increase, or because you get a whole bunch of tools with DistroKid. If you come over here and click this little button, there's always like get heard now and promote yourself. You've got all these tools you can use to, get more people listening. But here under special access, if you scroll down, you've got the little YouTube official artist channel, and you've probably seen it before. Some YouTube channels have a little musical note next to them, and that means all of their music that has been released is combined into their channel. And it's really easy to do. If you're a DistroKid member, you just come over to this little link here. You select your artist, like I might want to say, like Jade Starr Dread Circus. It asks you No, I don't have a YouTube channel. Well, clearly I do. Yes, I have a YouTube channel that contains content from Jade, Starr, Dread Circus, and other artists. And yes, and so you'd select one of these, and then you can link your YouTube channel by clicking here. It allows you to link it. I'm not going to show you that. There you go. You can link it, and it takes a little bit of time, but before not too long, your music that is on DistroKid or on Apple Music or already on YouTube will be combined with your channel. And that's just part of being a member of DistroKid. Do you use DistroKid? That's a silly question, Patrick. I'm sure you use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even before, like, because I like DistroKids. I do sponsored videos with DistroKid as well. Before that, I used them for years as well. So it's like, much like yourself, it's the easiest thing in the world to recommend them because they're just easy to use. They get the job done, and it costs you what, $20 a year, $23 a year. Can't go wrong, can you?
It's ridiculous. And even if, the thing is, even if you're not making a lot of money from it, normally you'll make enough to cover your annual fee. And that's enough, man, just to have your music up there and be able to access it any time. And for someone like Russ, right, because Russ is disabled, he loves it because he can just go to his Alexa or whatever and just ask Siri or ask Alexa to play his music at any time. So there's so many different reasons people release their music, not only just to have it there. Russ does it on DistroKid so he can access it because he's a disabled Mongo. Aren't you, Russ? If you're watching this on a replay, it's all right, I can say that about Russ. He'll be laughing his head off.
Christ.
He'll be laughing his head off. Trust me. You should, Patrick. That is like light.
Just gonna phone my lawyer. Just hold on a second. All right.
That is light compared to the things that we call each other every day in Clubhouse. Normally a lot of C words.
Is Clubhouse still a thing? Is Clubhouse still a thing?
Oh yeah, we're in there every day.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, but
I thought it was done.
We have a private chat group where we just sit in there and take the piss out of each other every day. Like they don't do any of those meetings and stupid things. They got bought out by somebody else, and now it's just a private group where you just open a private chat and hang out.
Cool.
Jamie Mallander's joined us. Good to see you. Hi, Jamie.
Dude.
The dude is here. The dude is here. All right. So Logic Pro. Wow. Oh, just before we do that, just let me come over here and do the thing. Remember. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring the show. All right. Never gets creepy. They love it.
Right.
The cease and desist emails, they're fine. It's all good. No, but thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring this channel. I couldn't do it without you. So Logic Pro, now, nobody was expecting this to come out. I think it had become such a meme. We'd all sat there, Logic Pro for iPad, Logic Pro for iPad. Had you given up? I know Pete had said, it's not coming, it's done, it's never coming. Month later, there it is.
Yeah.
Had you given
Pete
up?
said that a month before it was released. Yeah. So it was kind of, I talked about this. I did like a Logic Pro 1 year later video for the Logic Pro guide. And yeah, it was one tweet in 2020 that John Prosser, I don't know if you're familiar with him, he has a YouTube channel, a tech YouTube channel, FTP, one of those. And he tweeted that he had heard from a source that Pro apps were coming for iOS that year, 2020. And then nothing happened. And then 2021, nothing happened. And then 2022, nothing happened. So yeah, it kind of got to the point where been through all the cycles of kind of, of grief, acceptance, denial, all that kind of stuff, and just eventually come to the conclusion that it's just not going to happen. And then it did. Did you want it?
Oh yeah.
Had you given up on the thought of it, the idea of it?
No.
Do you think
no
Apple
way.
were just not going to do it? Or?
No, I knew it was coming. It's a no-brainer. Like, it was a no-brainer because the iPads were getting so strong. It was coming for sure. And I had, unfortunately, grown very weary of GarageBand.
Yeah.
Because I came from recording studios, many, many years in recording studios, and it was fantastic for what it did for me to get onto iOS. But I'd tried everything, Patrick. Cubasis, Aurea. I mean, I'd done so many shows on different doors. I think I've covered every door that's out. and all of them had a trade-off. There was, and they all
Yeah.
still do. There's always something missing, and AUM is still for me one of the ones that I just go back to just to make stuff quickly because it is incredible AUM. But yeah, I hadn't lost hope because the iPads are just getting more powerful and more powerful, and they're not going to make iPads more powerful for GarageBand.
No.
So.
But then, I mean, music production was never, until kind of fairly recently, a big concern on iPads anyway. So obviously they had GarageBand, but I mean, they never really, the same with video editing. They never really had any big, or it didn't seem like they had any big aspirations for having the iPad be this kind of base for creatives, really. And it did all kind of, like you say, come out of the blue with Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro.
Final Cut Pro is very disappointing.
Well, no, yeah, I know. I still think it's good. I've used did the months of demo and found it was good. I mean, I use a pretty basic video editor on my Mac anyway, so for me, multicam stuff and all that I don't really care about it too much. You've used it, haven't you? Do you still pay the?
I paid for a year, and I've paid for the second year. Yeah, I did some shows on it. It's good, but I think what's hard about it is that I'm in the ecosystem of LumaFusion.
Yeah.
And I'm used to the way it works. It works really well for me. And then I tried to move over, and then it does have more options. But then I'm a big user now of what's it called, CapCut. CapCut's amazing.
Okay.
CapCut blows my mind. Again, but it's the same. There's a trade-off for all of them. CapCut has the most amazing transitions. It's just it just kills everything. LumaFusion's got the best interface, and then you've got Final Cut Pro, which is built into the Apple ecosystem, so it works smoother.
Yeah.
If you could smash them all together, it would be perfect, but it's not going to happen. So I still feel like I need three
same
of
story
them.
for DAWs. Do you think?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like Logic is the full package, or do you feel like
It's enough.
Still needs to have?
It's enough. What do you think? Like when you saw it, were you excited? I know now you got sent it before it came out, so you had it before all of us, and so you're playing around with Apple's Logic. You get it for the first time. Were you overjoyed? Were you underwhelmed when you started messing with it for the first time?
Yeah, it's good. It was good. That as it stands now, it's fantastic. It's excellent. The 1.0 release, I think, was more lacking than it should have been. I think if it had released, so it had a 1.1 update where they added the mastering and they fixed a lot of the bugs that they had. If that had been the 1.0 release, it would have been incredible. I think they released a minimum viable product, and they maybe should have spent a little bit more time, because Apple don't really beta test. So when they send these out to myself and other people, we're not testing and feeding back and having them fix what we're feeding back on. We essentially had early access to the release version, so it wasn't
to prepare your videos.
They don't beta test as such with a large audience of beta testers, which I think is a bad thing, as was evident with their buggy as hell 1.0 release. They didn't even let developers have early access to it. So I was kind of, like a day before release was like sending developers that I know, like, this is what your app looks like in Logic Pro. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. Thanks for showing me, because they had no idea. Which is nuts when you think about it. Like, why don't they? But anyway, that's just the way.
Do you think it'd be different if Steve Jobs was still around?
Well, yeah, it would be different.
Just in relation to creators, because that's where I think they've dropped off. And Tim Cook's like he's so product, and they creators a token now. It feels like to Apple, where when Steve Jobs was around, sure, it wouldn't have been, they would have had a roadmap. I'm not talking about like the product releases or anything, because that roadmap was set in stone. But Steve Jobs just seemed like he did give more of a shit about creators. It wasn't just lip service, because I think these days I hear Apple say creatives and you just go, oh, look, they showed a picture of us for a second. Yay. But it seemed a little bit different when Steve was there, because like he would bring artists on stage. It just felt more like it was like that. So, I mean, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Can't change anything. The guy's dead.
Yeah.
But look, I love Logic.
I don't know.
I think Logic's great. I love it. I will not change. I'm committed to it. I open everything up in it except for AUM. I bounce between AUM and that. And everything I've made with it so far just sounds great. I'm really happy with it. I open up GarageBand and just am terrified by looking at it. Just go, God, I used to use this. It is what it is.
I mean, they're both still great. And the fact, I mean, obviously the big draw with a lot of these things with Apple is that it all kind of works together. It's quite seamless in the way that you can start off your project in GarageBand. Almost said GarageBand, Jesus. And then port it across and then bring it into Logic and and then keep working on it in Logic. I think it's great. And I think it's good that they haven't kind of depreciated GarageBand. They could have got rid of it and said that Logic Pro is the only music making app on the iPad because it's only £5 a month or whatever. So it's quite good that they've decided to keep updating GarageBand. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Tim Cook helped grow Apple to the level that it is today. Would they be the biggest company in the world if Steve Jobs was still alive? I don't know. I certainly don't. They maybe focus less on what makes them money or makes them the most money, because obviously that's what the focus has been on. And we know how niche the music making community is on iPads and on iPhones. The reason why they don't give us a huge amount of kind of screen time in these events, or haven't in the past, is because in the grand scheme of Apple customers, we're a very small group of people that they don't make a huge amount of money off. Ergo, they don't really care that much, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way that business works, really. But it is quite good to see them have more of a focus on music production, specifically with the release of Logic. They had did you see, was it last month or a couple of months ago, they had a job listing. They're having they're employing a music marketing person for the company now.
Oh, so that's
which is quite good, because I mean, a lot of people don't realize this. People think that the team behind Logic and GarageBand is a big group of people, dozens of developers and coders all working. It's like 3 guys.
Same as Cubasis too.
It's not like, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's not like a massive team of people. I mean, obviously, yes, they work for Apple, but there's not massive teams of people working on these bugs and things like that. It's like 3 guys that are like, and if you meet them, they're like they're not business people.
Yeah,
they have no say. They have no say in how their app is sold to people. They're just geeky music nerds.
They're basement dwellers, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is interesting that out of all the creatives they kind of have pandered to, the pencil has been very decisive in like, well, we're going to very much push it towards artists. So if you're an artist, you seem to be getting a lot of coverage there. You know, if you're drawing on it, because the pencil has become a huge seller for them, where I guess, you know, Apple stores have changed too. You used to go into an Apple store and you would see all this music gear, interfaces and all this stuff, which wasn't theirs. Yeah. It was all third-party stuff. So I guess what's the point of them going in 100% when they don't have control over the accessories they can sell? Because really, the Apple II is about software and hardware and the stuff around the hardware. So if they can't make any money out of it that way, unlike a pencil at what, $300 for a pencil, why bother? But I think Logic has got better and better and better. And I don't know, there's still a lot of people who complain about it and say, yeah, it's dog shit. And you know what?
Is there, Jade? I hadn't noticed.
What's the number one complaint you hear about Logic? As somebody with a lot of subscribers and a lot of engagement.
MIDI learn. the fact that you can't control the interface using an external bit of hardware.
Yeah, that is pretty weak.
It's not very interesting, but that is like, I mean, I understand why people are frustrated by that. I mean, obviously, you can touch your iPad and do stuff that way, and I think that's probably why Apple have been quite or haven't put it top of the list of features to add, is that they want people to just touch their iPad.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's just perhaps not the right way to approach it. You want to look at how people are using your software and give them the means to do that, instead of strong arming people into like interacting with it the way you want them to interact with it. Yeah, I think Logic is, for me anyway, it is the best DAW on iOS, and like not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's absolutely fine. And you know what, I really like that music making on iOS is at the point now where there are so many options, and there is no one de facto best option for people to go for. I think that kind of like, it just helps everybody.
But apart from the people who just want more.
Well, everybody just wants more, don't they? But yeah, I mean, that kind of, it's not competition, but it will encourage companies to improve their software. You saw after the release of Logic how companies, I mean, not Beatmaker 3, but Cubase 3 has had several updates since the release of Logic Pro. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have had otherwise, but it certainly gives companies an incentive to try and, make their product as appealing as possible. Yeah,
whenever Apple release something like this, it does incentivize companies to push harder. So, competition's always good. I always believe competition's the right thing to have, and have options. And, people get so territorial though over this shit. They get so upset, and it's like, oh, you use Logic sucks. But it even comes down to the phones, I'm still too afraid on my Facebook page these days to write, this thing, I just got a new iPhone, because I know there's somebody waiting in the wings to go, I hate Apple. Really? Well, aren't you a celebrity? Fuck off.
I mean, just stay off of Facebook in general, unless you have to, or unless, the only thing I go on Facebook for now is the groups, and because there's some people I only do on Facebook. Otherwise, because Facebook is fucked. Facebook is like death spiral stuff now. I saw you shared the other day a video I watched the day before, a Drew Gooden video where he talks about the dead internet theory.
Yeah.
About how AI is creating groups and pages on Facebook. And AI chatbots or AI bots are creating posts in order to try and generate engagement with those posts. But the things that are engaging with the posts are other AI bots. And it's terrifying, because it's just advertisers are going to start pulling all their money out when they realize they're getting all of these impressions on Facebook and no money, because real people aren't on it anymore. Facebook's done. It's cooked.
This is the fear with everything, though. Everybody's so focused on this Terminator, end of the world, AI is going to build robots and kill us all. The real problem is the cannibalization of AI and the inbreeding of AI. That's what I've been saying a lot on the shows I've done on AI, especially with generative art, because eventually the AI is just going to start pulling, because you do a Google search now for something and half the results are AI art. So now it's going to start pulling from its own art and generating from its own art, which is like, the royal family pretty much, inbreeding. And you're going to get pictures where people's hands are going to be worse than what they are now. They're going to have 20 fingers, because it's just and the music's the same thing's going to happen. And the same, like what you said too, the conversations on Facebook and the conversations on YouTube or wherever, it's just bots all just chatting with each other, and we're going to be remember the old days? I don't know if you remember this, the chat on Yahoo. Yahoo used to have chat, and by the end of Yahoo chat, it was just bots and just female 19 looking for fun and just endless ads, and every now and again you'd see a human in there going, hello, I'm Mike from Sydney. And it's like, Mike, no one in here is real. And they end up having to shut down the whole thing because it was all just bots. But that's where we're heading. That is and that video was that was one of the scariest videos I think I've seen out of all the AI videos, because I was terrified during that, just at how quick somebody can make a YouTube channel, make a whole bunch of content, shorts and all that, and just it makes you think, what am I doing this for?
It's interesting to see how all the crypto bros have jumped onto AI.
Yes.
And the crypto bros ruined, so like the whole thing with the crypto boom and stuff, like the technology behind that was really interesting, and it could have done a lot for music distribution and for copyright and stuff, because you could have obviously distributed individual copies of a song with each individual token, and then bloody people started selling pictures of monkeys. For $50,000, man, and just fucked it. And obviously when that collapsed, a lot of the crypto bros moved on to AI, and I think the promise of what it could have been, I think, has been kind of lost a bit now. And
it's a spiraling thing. There's the lawsuits are going to kill it too, and we'll come back to AI. Let's play another track. Let's play another track from the new band. Again, the new band of yours. And Future Fathers. This one is called Snow. And did I play this? I didn't play this one already.
Played that one already.
I'm sorry. How do I say this?
Hikikomori.
Hikikomori. There we go. Let's play Hikikomori. And you ready, guys? Let's Oge. Everything's good. Queued up. Ready to go. Let's do it. Boom.
Thanks.
Trevor Bear says, let us know what keyboard. And you've already answered. It's Baby Audio.
BA1.
It's a great synth. That it's a little dazzler. It's quite unassuming.
Yeah, it kind of knows what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else, and is all the better for it. And I'm now going to have to pick a different app for the end because that was one of them.
I don't do that anymore.
Do you not? You put it in your notes. That you
I
sent
know.
me.
I forgot. To
I
remember.
spent hours. I didn't really.
When I sent it, I thought, oh, did I leave that in there? Shit. Because there's two different, you said, oh, it's very professional of you. I think I sent you the wrong one. I sent the normal one instead of the Creator Rewind one. I'm sick.
That's all good.
Hey, Moby Pixel, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I think I saw a couple of other people. Lily Pilly's joined us and Sean Chandler. Hello. So talking about AI, just on that subject that we were on, because and Sith Vasquez, hello to you. Hello. In relation to making YouTube videos, because it is a thing, isn't it? Like there's so many channels that me and Pete were talking about this on the AI show last week. There's so many channels now you come across where you're just like, is this a human? Because there seems like a lot of misinformation in this, especially for me around the space and stuff, because I watch a lot of space videos and they're like, oh, and Uranus is actually, and I'm like, hang on a minute, that's all that information's wrong. So are you concerned about this being a YouTuber? Because how much work does it take for you to put together one of your videos? So you could give us an average of from start to finish or put together, say, your last video.
Like a couple of days. It depends. It depends really. Because like I think I said before we started the show actually, that I tend to script everything. So I'll sit and write and script out a video and then kind of proofread it and go through and bring it down to something a bit smaller and then kind of shoot all my A-roll, shoot all my B-roll, and then edit it all together. And it depends on what the subject is. I think what's the last video I did? I think it was about stock plugins in GarageBand for Mac. So that was was like a day and a bit, maybe. It was quite a short runtime because it was just screen capturing from the Mac, and it's really easy to just put that footage together alongside all the A-roll. Whereas a lot of iOS stuff, I'll go up in my loft and do like a top-down shot and stuff.
I love that shot.
That's maybe a little bit more.
The table with the things, I love that shot so much. That's what's holding me back from doing pre-recorded stuff. I need to find a space to have a good top-down shot. I'm going to have to buy a table and all that, and just have a little corner somewhere.
So it's literally like it's an old table. My loft is full of crap. So if I was to tilt the camera up, it's just like old beds, cardboard boxes, loads of crap. But just that one corner, it's an old table, and I bought some orange vinyl wrap from a hardware shop for £3 or something. Put the orange wrap on because I thought this will look good in a thumbnail. It's bright orange. And yeah, literally, it's the top-down camera. It's my iPhone. It's not like it's a fancy camera or anything. It's literally just well, you know how good iPhones are now. So it's literally just that. And then bring the footage down, pop it into my editing software, and then it's so for stuff so quite often for iOS, I'll have an iOS screen recording and plus the top-down shot as well, and then kind of match them up. So I'll be screen recording in the loft, in the attic, while I'm also recording from my iPhone, and then I have to kind of match that footage up and resize the top-down footage to sit on top of the the iOS screen recording, so it almost looks like a picture-in-picture type of thing.
It's
that's
very
a little
effective.
bit more involved.
Very effective.
Well, it's probably completely unnecessary. It would be far easier, and it is easier when I get a little bit lazy and I just do a screen recording with the Magic Keyboard and use the mouse pointer, because you're still presenting the same information and people can still see where to point and where to press. I kind of like doing the top-down thing because I haven't really seen anybody else do that, like a mix of the two of them.
Yeah.
So I've seen people obviously do iOS videos where it's just a top-down shot. Jacob Hack is fantastic at that. and I've seen lots of videos, obviously, where it's just a screen recording, but I've never really seen any or many where it's both, which is why I kind of often like to go to the extra effort to do that, just because it just kind of looks quite cool, and I probably just I quite enjoy editing it all together. So something like that can take kind of a couple of days, and then a fortnight on the thumbnail just to make sure it's perfect.
Well, you know, when I see your videos pop up, like I do get excited and go, all right, put some time aside to watch this, because it's like when Jacob Hack releases a video too. Like I'll like it straight away and go set some time to just sit down and watch it, because I feel like it's a movie. Like I love the stuff like that, where some of the other ones are just like, you know, a walking talk through and just the screen, and that's a little bit boring unless you just want to get to it. And it's funny, you know, some people complain and go, no, why can't you just get and just tell me the info and then move the fuck on? It's like, well, there's fucking videos to go do that, and there's videos that don't do that. So, like, why don't you be more discerning to work out which ones do it and which ones don't? Like, it's on you, not on me.
The last thing you want to do is try to be everything to everybody, because that's just not going to work. You're better off just having, I don't want to sound like too much of a wank, but having a vision and sticking to it. Instead of trying to, if you react to every single YouTube comment you get, you'll just end up going round in circles and driving yourself insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned that very quickly. So I said this to you before we started, and it came off as offensive, and I didn't mean it to be offensive, or maybe I did. I don't know. You'll never know, but we'll try it now and see if it's still offensive. But it feels like when I first started watching you that you were putting out more content, and now it feels like and I'm probably wrong, right? Because, you know, it's like I remember when I was growing up and the weather was 23 degrees. Now it's 23 degrees, but feels like 28. How the fuck does that work? But to me, it feels like you put out less content, but you probably don't. But I don't know why it feels like that. But it just feels like over the years it feels more streamlined, your stuff, that it has here's a video, it feels like it's only how many videos are you putting out a month? That's the question I'm trying to get to.
I mean, I try to go 3 a week at the minute, so 2 for the GarageBand guide and 1 for the Logic Pro guide. That's not happening this week because I'm doing this. So it'll probably be 2 GarageBand guide videos this week, and then I'll try and maybe squeeze out 2 Logic Pro guide videos next week.
See, that's still a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's my job, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of just have to. I mean, I'm trying to think. So, yeah, I could probably. I don't know if you're maybe just not seeing them. I don't know. Do you use?
Oh no, I
your
see all of them.
Feeds and, right. Okay. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could. It's a good rhythm for me. I could release more videos more often at a level or a quality that I wouldn't be happy with.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Whereas this is quite a nice, I'm just at the sweet spot of I can get these done and out to a level where I'm happy with the quality of them. And again, that's no shade on anybody who does kind of what might be perceived as less. So like we said there, so like iOS videos where it's just a screen recording and a mouse pointer are fantastic if you want to just quickly and clearly demonstrate something. So no shade on anybody who creates content like that at all.
Yeah, like I'm, as I said at the start of this show, I'm trying to move to my 5-year plan, which is now moving into that new phase of there will be less live streams. Like live streams will be a lot less very soon here, because I'm tired of it. I can't get up every day, and it's very taxing. I'm still going to be learning all the stuff, but I'm just going to be in shorter, concise videos, and that's what Walk With Me was about, to just get back into editing and, you know, be able to sit there and see if I can hold on to a chair for like 4 hours and do some editing and not lose my mind. And I'm all right with it now. And, you know, because getting up so early in the morning is killing me. But I definitely want to move to that.
The fact that you've done so many live streams, sorry to just jump in, but the fact you've done so many live streams consistently is incredible. Like, I don't think it's anything less than that. Like, like every single day you release some form of content, and like it's really, really something you should be proud of. It's fantastic and quite inspirational.
Well, thanks.
And adding in other stuff as well that you're obviously passionate about, like the Walk With Me, your Walk With Me videos, which are brilliant. I love those
mate.
videos. I love it when Pete does it as well, because you get to kind of see like where you live, and you get to kind of not get to know you a bit better, but obviously it's just casually strolling around, having a chat, and then obviously getting to see kind of the surroundings of where you live and stuff. Is really, really great.
It's one of the reasons I never called the channel How to App on iOS, because it's called Jade Starr, because like I want it to be varied. Have you felt like, because that leads us
you
to
don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
well, that leads us, because once Logic came out, you had to, well, you didn't have to, but you did. You created a new channel, the Logic Pro Guide. And how's that been, juggling 2 channels now? Because I look at that, I've tried it. I tried it quickly. It had a Mac channel and just went, yeah, no, and I've just ceased that thing. How's that working for you, having 2 channels?
I almost didn't. So I was kind of touch and go 50-50 whether or not I was going to transition the GarageBand guide into something else. I did kind of contemplate changing the name to like Patrick Baird Music, or like I played with a lot of different. None of the names really worked, and none of the ideas for it really worked. And I couldn't. It didn't make a lot of sense to continue to have Logic Pro tutorials on the GarageBand guide. It didn't make a lot of sense. And they were doing, and it was not annoying, but they were getting really, really, really good views on the GarageBand guide channel as well. Like tens of thousands of views every video. So it was kind of like, oh God, because I'm going to lose these views. I'm going to have to start a new channel. And because it's a new channel, the reach is going to be a lot less, and yada, yada. But so I did do a separate channel, and it was the best idea, I think. It allowed me to kind of focus more on just that. And I do kind of think about them separate and focus on them in a kind of separate way from each other. It was definitely the best idea. And it's kind of grown really quick as well. So I'm like, what, 3,500 subscribers in the Logic Pro guide in a year, which
just
like
looked it up.
Which in YouTube land is, I think that's quite good. I think it's quite good. For we talked a bit about how niche iOS music making is, and because it is solely about the iPad version of Logic Pro, I'm quite happy to get that amount of growth in that space of time. And it's really good fun. It's fresh. It's like a new app. So I've been making content around GarageBand for over a decade. I'm not saying I'm bored of it, but it's lovely to be able to do something with a completely new app that feels fresh, that feels different. And it's exactly what I needed as well, I think, to kind of keep that spark going.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I do different content on here, because like doing tutorials every day, it's a bit brain rot, because hey, a new compressor, like. And I'm not shitting on developers. I love developers so much. I will fight for them till the end of dawn, especially developers who are iOS above, outside of iOS, who are coming in, because they're coming in late. So we got to support our iOS developers who've been here for a long time. They're very important to us. And that's why I continue to push the apps, because they are our lifeblood. Without them, we wouldn't be at this stage to even have Logic. But I do like doing other content, and that's why I shoot off and do stuff like the rant and all this other stuff, because you have to have variety or you'll get completely bored shitless, and it'll show in your content. Like you'll look bored.
It's the danger, isn't it? That's the danger.
It sure is. It's really hard to to turn on every day and go, hello, I'm so excited. This is, guess what? Another reverb. Add this to the other 800 reverbs that you have. Trust me, this one's special. It's got more reverb. We'll play another song, and then we'll come back and talk about a little bit more about AI. You can never have enough reverb. Ultimately, that's the truth. Let me get
Never trust another word you say ever again, Jade.
Hey, look, I am straight up. I do say at the end of every show, the apps aren't Pokemon. You don't need them all, and that's not a slight on the developers. It's a slight on the We'll talk about this when we come back because it's this niche ecosystem that we have of everybody wants everything, but it's like we're so infinitesimal as a community on iOS. Let's play Vapors. We'll do this one, and then we'll close with... Yes, we'll play Vapors now. So this is from Future Fathers, and we'll close today with Tornado Country. Let's do it. This is... make sure I got everything set up. God, this space station here, it's hard to do, like this live streaming thing, Patrick. All right, this is Vapors from Future Fathers, Patrick's other project that we've been listening to today. Let's ooh-ja. Boom! Another killer track. I really love this new stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I really love it. And one of the main reasons I really love to have you back. I love your company. I just love hanging out. You make me laugh heaps, and I consider you a good friend. Even though we don't hang out too much, but we have a little group with those other two weirdos that we hang out with in the mates group. But you don't really promote your music on your channel. You spend so much time helping other people and informing other people, and I find that to be very, very honourable thing that you don't sit there and big note, and because your music's really, really good, Patrick.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. It's really scary to share, especially that Future Father stuff, because it is I just never made stuff like that before in my life. I've no idea what I'm doing, essentially. So it's really nice. Thank you for saying that.
Well, it's. I'm just surprised people don't actually say anything more in your chat and go, "Hey, where can I find your music, brother?" Because clearly you know what you're talking about when you teach people. So, You know, it's a very noble thing to not big note, and I'm trying to do that more and not sit here and go, look at me, by releasing a new album that I'm not going to tell anybody the name of it. Nobody.
You haven't mentioned it. Yeah, right enough. You haven't mentioned it.
I keep mentioning it, but you're never going to find it. That's the thing. It's a needle in a haystack. Oh, that's the title. Damn, I've given it away. No. Hey, Holy Ghost, what's going on? Good to see you too. All right. So this niche market that we live in now, it feels like being an iOS music creator that, you know, we're very important. And all these apps that come out are very, very important. And what we want is very important. And I demand that this little button does this and this LFO does this. How important are we in the ecosphere of music as iOS makers?
I don't think Tim Cook lies awake at night thinking about this or anything, no.
No.
Yeah. I think it's growing, and I think that's a good thing. But yeah, it's quite a small niche community of musicians, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
It needs, and people like yourself who focus solely on iOS need to have some huge level of passion, because you're not going to make a huge amount of, like, compared to like desktop YouTube channels who focus on Logic Pro on Mac, for example, get hundreds of thousands of views. I know, I've checked. And you just, when you're making stuff on about iOS specifically, you really need to it's just a smaller user base that you're talking to and you're working with. From one standpoint, it's a really good thing, though, because it all really feels like a privilege to be on the ground floor or something like this, because it is only going to get bigger, right? It is only going to Hang on. It already is.
How long have you been on the ground floor since? Because I was my first iPhone in 2008. That's a long time ago.
I mean, how long have I been making music on iOS for? So like 2014 or something like that. So 10
right.
years. Yeah. We're fucked. Fuck it.
Give up.
Cancel, delete channel. Yeah, not going to happen.
That joke never gets old. You know, because I made a conscious decision in 2010 to not make music anymore on laptops or computers. I got rid of them all and I just focused on the iPad. And that was a bold move back then, because the only way you could do it was to jailbreak and to be able to send files back and forward and do all that stuff. And it was a pain in the ass, because I jailbroke all the way up to the iPhone 5, playing cat and mouse with Apple and SSH blobs and all this bullshit. And then finally they made it easy for us. But, you know, it still feels like there's people out there who look at it like, it's just a piece of glass. It's like, but it's not. It really isn't. Is that because Apple just haven't got it out there, haven't sold it enough? Why are people still not realizing that the iPad is just as powerful as a fucking Mac?
I think Apple hold it back themselves, because Apple don't want you to make music on an iPad. Apple want you to make music on an iPad and on a Mac.
Yeah,
they don't want the iPad to be its own thing. I think that was quite clear this year, where they had the chance with the launch of the M4 to make it this incredible, super powerful, and then no, it's just iPad OS 18 is just another incremental update. It's not like anything revolutionary. I think it's interesting. So in the early 2000s, Pro Tools, people looked at Pro Tools and recording and mixing music solely in the box on a computer as a joke. So audio engineers who were used to working with tape and slicing up tape and stuff like that thought it was a joke, until Ricky Martin released Live and La Vida Loca. Now, stay with me.
Did he?
Honestly,
tell me more about this Ricky Martin.
So you're old enough to remember how big that song was, right?
I do.
That song was everywhere. It was a massive smash hit, made millions and millions of dollars, made that idiot a massive star. And it made, honestly, it made Pro Tools like a viable way for people to kind of make hits, essentially. So the iPad just needs its Ricky Martin moment. It just needs it just needs someone to make a hit on it that actually, makes money and provides people an easier way, or shows people that it's an easier way to create a money-making massive mega hit.
Tim Cook, are you hearing this? Ricky Martin, baby.
Live and La Vida Loca, Tim.
Oh, fuck it. Fucking Ricky Martin.
Is it? So So I mean, but Apple don't shout about this. So people in studios everywhere, people use iPads.
Yeah.
So people use iPhones, they use iPads as a starting point. They don't necessarily finish a track on it, but they're everywhere. And I think if you're Apple and you want to push music making on your platform, you maybe want to tell people about that a bit more.
Totally. Yeah, I agree.
Because they don't. And it feels like they don't really believe in it, which is a bit of a shame, really.
What do you want from Apple over the coming years, over the next few years? Do you have a laundry list? Let's hear it.
I don't know. Money? Paycheck?
Money.
Well,
they're your friends now. They send you Logic and,
Yeah. Yeah. See, I mean, maybe more support for developers, I think, more than anything else. There's, the whole release cycle with Logic Pro has proven that they really couldn't give a shit about developers, really. They just expect developers to just follow along and deal with any changes they make, deal with any updates that they release to their hardware, whether it breaks stuff or not. And they kind of don't really have them involved at all, which I think is just bizarre, really.
Especially when they have a whole conference called Worldwide Development.
Exactly.
And now it's just like, it's not even about that anymore. They have their classes, but even I watched a few this year because I got my developer account. I watched a few and I just felt like they were talking down at me and like I should be thankful for the scraps that I'm getting.
That's just what Apple do, really. I don't know if you've obviously spoke to some of the developers and stuff, and they're nice, normal people. If you speak to some of the kind of other media people at Apple, they're very much kind of like, "Hello, how are you? Let me show you this. Let me."
Well, I used to work for Apple, Patrick. I used to work
Did you?
in I was
Really?
I worked in the Genius Bar.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why did I not know this?
I gave up my job at American Express to work at the Genius Bar, and I took a huge pay cut to go from American Express to Apple, and I fucking hated it. I hated every goddamn minute. It was like being in a cult, and nearly everybody who worked there was from Jehovah's Witnesses. They were all super religious people, and here's the tranny in amongst all the religious people.
God.
It was just... It was hard to deal with, and I felt like even as a genius, like the moniker was bullshit because all you're doing is just, here's a free one.
Really? Was it just, we can't fix this? There's a...
Well, yeah, and what's interesting is behind the doors, there's a whole lot of amazing stuff back there, which more now is used these days, like more machines to fix things straight away. They can pull data from a Mac that's fucked. They can do so much back there in most Apple stores. But it just felt like the chains were on you. So for all and when you go for a job at Apple, it's not like just one round of interviews. It's like 3 to 4 months of interviews and groups of people sitting around and scenarios. It's like acting out all these scenarios. It's such wank.
Yeah.
And the money.
I used to work in retail. It's ridiculous a lot of the time, yeah.
But yeah, the whole idea is it's that whole surprise and delight thing. Somebody comes in, this doesn't work. Well, guess what? I've heard your sob story. Here's a free one. And that's what keeps, people really happy at the end of the day. So I had to leave because I felt like my experience wasn't being used.
Right, yeah.
So, and that's the consumer side of it too. Plus, a lot of the people out on the floors seemed like they didn't know what they were talking about. But if you sat down and had drinks with them and wanted to talk about Jesus, they knew a lot about Jesus.
Really? Oh, God.
There's a lot of religious people who worked at the Apple stores I worked at because, I don't know, maybe they're easier to indoctrinate. That's just a theory. Could be a conspiracy theory. Anyway, well, so, I'm not knocking religion or anything like that. Just it is what it is.
Not you, Jade? No, of course not.
No.
I've got a great clip I'm going to send you of you that I screen captured like a month ago. I meant to do something with it and realized I probably shouldn't. I'm going to send it to you after the show. It's hilarious. Just to go back to your previous point about what I want from Apple, you know what I would really love to see them reintroduce is affiliate for iOS.
Yes.
I think that would provide incentive for content creators to cover the iOS app ecosystem or the music side of it a lot more than they do. I don't think you make any massive bucks from it, but it would be a good incentive to kind of entice more people to make content around iOS music making apps.
It's crazy they took that away. Just really stupid.
Unreal.
Stupid thing to do. I just want a better operating system. You know what? Here's the thing, Patrick. I don't want Mac OS on my iPad. I don't need it. I've got a Mac. But I'd like it to be integrated much better to feel like I can do more. I want to be able to open one instance of the Mail app and open up several windows within the Mail app and do things. I just want a bit more than what the iPhone does. It's not a lot to ask. I really don't want too much. That's it. So, but I can't see that happening unless there's a major redesign going on that's been 3 years already in the works and it's coming soon. Because that's what they do, you know. What's next for you?
I thought that was going to be this year.
Yeah,
for me, I'm going to my bed. I'm knackered. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
What's next for the channel? What's going on your channels? All this kind of stuff. Do you have anything changing up ahead or anything like that, or is it just business as usual?
But I mean, it's summertime now, so we're in the kind of the lull in YouTube land. So I mean, it's a lot of existential dread and worrying if this is it. This is the end. I'm going to have to go back and get a proper job now. And this happens every summer. I've realized after I've been full-time for almost 3 full years now, and every summertime it's like, oh my god, I should have saved more money. So no, I mean it's just business as usual. Essentially, like I said, the plan is 2 GarageBand Guide videos a week and a Logic Pro for iPad video a week. Continue to work on the website and then just continue grinding away. There's lots and lots of interesting stuff, loads of new hardware being released all the time. There's new iOS apps every day, it seems like. There really seems to be a ramping up of new releases. So there's always new stuff to talk about. And there's always new people who are picking up iPads and Macs who want to learn how to make music on them. So yeah, busy.
Awesome. I want to thank you for coming on here. I've only got one question left for you. I want to thank everybody in the chat who's come along today and provided fun. Hi, Metalhead Hippie, I see you there.
Boom.
Thank you.
And folks, all the links to Patrick's stuff, Logic Guide, GarageBand Guide, all in the description, and his music. Go download the music. Go support. There's a Bandcamp link as well, so go and buy some music. That's the best way to support artists. His music's rad, you know, and it doesn't get enough focus. So thank you for staying up so late and coming on and having a crap on with weirdo me. We've got Pete Johns up next, which I'll dump you all over to. Pete's celebrating a bunch of things and he's doing something.
Independence Day.
Independence Day. I don't miss fireworks. When I was in America, the first time I was there for July 4th, and the first year I was living there, I walked outside and bang, bang, bang went off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? 5 days of it. It was like, man, my heart was in my throat for 4 days. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever had to live through. The last question I ask everybody comes back on the Creator Rewind. If you were stuck on a desert island and you didn't have a volleyball that you could name some stupid name and talk to in the middle of the night, what album would you keep with you that you couldn't play because you didn't have any form to play the music on?
Wow.
Complex
question.
Stuff. I know.
Just one.
Yeah, one.
So many. It could be Deftones, White Pony, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. I'm gonna go for Queen's Greatest Hits.
Beautiful.
Volume 2.
Beautiful.
Volume 2.
Perfect stuff. Thank you so much, my friend. We're going to go out and play this song, Tornado Country. Only goes for a
Thank
bit
you.
over a minute. And then I'll dump you over to Pete. So I'm a little bit late, Pete. Sorry, but you'll love me still. All right. Can you just hang on the end so I can say goodbye to you off the air? And it's certainly
No, fuck off.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, man.
Remember, folks, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. And whatever you do in these trying times, stay awake. Don't be woke. Just be awake. All right, let's yeah. This is Tornado Country by Wiredrawn.
Call this place Tornado Country. We wrote our names in concrete. Said I'll love you forever, or until they pave this over. Went down to the shelter. It's at least 3 miles away. Sleep in separate beds.